Hi, I'm going to be making creamy corned pudding, and we start off by putting the 3 tablespoons of butter into a saucepan over low heat, and the idea is to get the butter melted so that we can add our corn mixture that we're going to be blending up in the blender here in just a second. And so we're just kind of melting the butter to give it a base so that when the corn mixture is added, it won't stick to the pan. So while I'm waiting for this butter to completely melt, I start making my corn mixture. I turn the butter off, and I have 1 pound of frozen white corn. And I'm using frozen corn right now because fresh corn isn't in season. And when it is in season, you can use 5 to 6 ears of corn in place of using this frozen corn. So I put the frozen corn in, and I have to do mine in portions, small batches, because it isn't big enough for me to hold my entire batch all at once. I have 2 cups of milk that I use in total. And then I use 2 ounces of the Philadelphia cream cheese, which is 1/4 of the package, the 8-ounce package. And I take a portion of that and put that in here as well. And then I use 4 ounces total of fresh basil, and I put that in here as well. So now that my first batch is complete, I'm going to take it and add it to my butter that I have over here on the stove. And as you can see, it's well mixed. If you have any troubles with your batches, you want to make sure that it's wet enough by adding enough of the milk in with the corn and basil. When the corn mixture is all blended, all the batches, that is, are blended all together, you can add it to the butter, the 3 tablespoons of butter that we made from the beginning, and the other batches of the corn over the stove top. And at this point, I like to turn it up to high heat and try to bring it to a rolling boil. I add 1 cup of polenta and sea salt. So I stir it continuously until it comes to a boil so that I prevent it from sticking to the bottom of my pan. So you want to get the polenta stirred in well with the corn mixture. And I like to use the white frozen corn. It's a little bit sweeter than the regular yellow frozen corn, and it adds kind of a contrast to the yellow color of the polenta. So once the corn mixture is boiling, I turn it down to low, so that, and I stir it frequently so that the polenta basically is able to cook all the way through and kind of loses that gritty-like texture. So you can see that it is kind of coming to a boil here. And so I turn it down to low, and now I wait for 20 minutes, stirring it occasionally over that 20-minute period to prevent it from sticking. So after the corn mixture has been cooking for 20 minutes on the stovetop, you want to go ahead and check it for flavor and to make sure that the polenta has actually lost the grittiness to the corn texture. Yummy! So from here, we can go ahead and transfer it to our baking dish. And the point of adding it to the baking dish is to actually give it a crusty top. So I'm going to put it on broil for about 2 to 3 minutes, And so at this point you want to make sure that the baking dish that you're using in the oven is actually a baking dish specific for broiling. And once you have that dish selected, you can add it to the dish and go ahead and put it in the oven for 2 to 3 minutes. Oh, it smells good. Once it cools, you can go ahead and cut it. And I like to cut it into triangular shapes, as I've done here, and I've garnished with fresh cut basil. Another way I also serve it is, as I have it here, in small ramekins. Instead of making it in the large baking dish, you could make it in small ramekins and serve them as individual style. Thank you.